Greetings and happy Halloween, Flesh Wound horror freaks. I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
So we're back. We're getting deep into the season here, Todd. It goes by so fast, but we're still chugging along. Still got plenty of content for you guys and cool stuff. Be sure if you missed it, Tournament of the Living Dead. Go back and watch that from the beginning. But tonight we have two Halloween haunt themed slashers for you guys from the 90s to talk to you guys about. And we're going to kick it off, since they're the same year, with 1991's HAUNTEDWEEN. And in this film, on one Halloween night, a little girl visiting the Berber family's House of Horrors attraction is brutally hacked to pieces by their young son, Eddie. Having fled the scene, Eddie is taken away by his mother to live in solitude at a remote cabin. 20 years later, the State College Sigma Phi fraternity are desperately trying to raise some cash, so they decide to throw a ruckus fundraiser for their peers. In the midst of the festivities, a mysterious figure arrives at the door, offering them a key to the old abandoned Berber house and suggesting that they turn it into a haunted house. Seizing the opportunity, the youngsters quickly set about transforming the property into an elaborate and potentially lucrative Halloween attraction. Little do they realize that Eddie Berber has returned home and intends to have some All Hallows Eve fun of his own. All right, so does evil die tonight? You'll have to watch the movie to find out. But HAUNTEDWEEN. So this is a film that I know quite a few of you guys out there are fond of. We've talked about it before. A lot of Kentucky-based friends that really love this film. It's
Shocker, since it was shot right in
Bowling Green.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I was going to mention that, since this is from the Homegrown Horror set, and this is one of those regional titles.
Yes.
Yeah, but this one managed to make it all the way to me. So, not all regional titles did, even out here.
It was actually partially significantly funded by a local RC Cola bottling company, and they had to feature the soda and cast some employees in the movies. So that's about as regional as it gets. Not to be confused with The Haunted Peen. It's a different movie out there, but nah, it's not. It would be funny if you all just looked it up, though. But
I think Dan expected that joke to hit a little better, but
we'll just sold it. Sold it.
Well, there was nothing to sell. It wasn't really structured as a joke that was humorous. It was
Haunted Peen, Todd.
Yeah,
that's fucking hilarious.
No, it just didn't land. You can't blame that one on me.
Hilarious. I could just say One-Eyed Monster. That is a movie.
That would have, and you know what? I would have been okay with that.
There you go. But yeah, HAUNTEDWEEN. So this is one that I know a lot of people did not get to see until the 20th anniversary DVD that came out a while ago from the director, who sadly passed away 4 or 5 years ago, I believe now. And this is a pretty stacked Blu-ray. We'll talk about that a little bit, but the movie itself, this wasn't a first-time watch for you then?
No.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think if I saw it. I may not have seen it till the DVD. I don't remember. I don't know. Yeah, I've seen it before. I just can't pinpoint when my first time watching it was.
I know that DVD was kind of like a first time watch for a lot of people.
That's what I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if I saw it then or before on tape, but I remember the VHS tape, so I'm going to go with I did see it on the tape. I remember the cover. It's like instantly like I remember seeing that. And if I saw it, I would have rented it as a kid.
It's one of those movies. I mean,
91. Oh, this is. I really can't. Yeah, because that's a little later. I have a better. I'm up in the air when I saw it first.
Yeah, I was gonna say it may have been later than you thought, but this one is a lot of fun. I see why people like it. It kind of has a sex comedy feel to it. It definitely feels authentic to Kentucky, you know, the accents and everything. We have this character, Hanks, played by Brad Hanks, who feels like a young Jim Cornette just trying to get poontang. It's pretty pretty funny. It's not a serious slasher for a moment. Don't go in expecting, you know, Halloween. But I'll tell you, like, this one I think is a fun night at the movies during this season. There's a decent bit, I should say, of nudity. Some very pretty local ladies that they found to appear in this one. And there's some fun gore. There's a this one shot where the killer puts a machete through this guy's throat and pins him to a tree that looked really awesome, like it, you know, came out of one of the better Friday the 13th kills. There's a 360 neck snapping, and probably one of the highlights is a baseball bat decapitation that really made me laugh. It's better made than you would expect.
I don't know if it's a gore highlight, but it is a humor highlight.
I thought it was pretty fucking cool. I really did. This one had that fun balance of comedy and you know, the kills. Like I said, again, never particularly suspenseful or scary, you know, but I liked it. We've talked about this before, how some slashers that, you know, maybe have like a little bit more respect, but aren't as fun as some of these goofy little oddball ones that came out late in the game. This one, I really had a lot of fun with it, to be honest. I think it has the Halloween feel with the haunt, and I really enjoyed everything about it. How about you?
Yeah, I think you do have a higher opinion of it though than me. Like, I enjoyed it. But I don't think it belongs in competition with some of the top tier slashers. I think
Not
it's
top tier, but
even mid tier. Like, this is, I'm not gonna watch this. Like, I want to watch a slasher. I want to watch Hauntedween. That's never gonna happen. But if I want to watch a fun movie, you know, slashery, you know, Halloweeny, this is it. But yeah, this is like, if this was a Slashtober, I think Kruger would have some unkind words for it, even as fun as it is.
I don't want to like speculate too much on what Kruger might like. I feel like there's just enough here that he might have fun with it.
I didn't say that. I said in a slasher tournament, it would have problems.
Yeah, although it could also go the way of Pickaxe.
No way. For me, I'm gonna watch Pickaxe 10 times before this. It's not.
Okay.
It's. But what I'm saying is, slasher. If you're going in for a slasher, you might be a little disappointed. If you're going in for a fun Halloween movie, I say this is perfect.
Yeah, no, this is the time of year.
Don't come off your Terrifier high to watch Hauntedween. I'm just telling you now, you will be extremely disappointed.
Well, yes, this one's a lot more silly than Terrifier, but there's some really cool shit in this. I mean, the flamethrower scene, which apparently almost caused a legit fire. There was a lot of just cool shit that is very unique to Kentucky. And I know this got a lot of press coverage in Kentucky at the time. There's, like, again, a lot of people talked about this or knew somebody that was in it or involved in it. And I would say, as far as regional slashers go, which are not always great, you know, if we're being honest, I mean, there's certainly some that maybe have a little bit of charm, but they're not fantastic. I think this one's pretty well put together. I thought the girls were gorgeous. I don't think there'd be any complaints there. It kind of has almost a USA Up All Night feel to it for me, that I think it would have played just perfect on there. Although, again, I think better made than probably some of the stuff on USA Up All Night.
You could tell this is before never mind. I'll just say this was a very white cast.
It's Kentucky, Todd.
That's what I'm saying. They were
kind of a white state.
They were trying to shoehorn anyone in like they would nowadays.
I want a sequel that just opens up somehow with the Hanks character just going through the drive-through. Extra onions, extra bacon, motherfucker.
And then
That's my best job.
and then Trump hands
Cornet.
him his food. That's a drive. I know your mind just
Holy
got blown.
shit.
Save that for a different show, Dan.
Holy shit, it's
Right?
Cornette and Trump. Oh my god. WrestleMania, book it, main event. God, Todd, you can't blow my mind.
I know, I did. I saw it. I'm like, God damn it. I shouldn't have said it, but
and I'm trying to do this. But no, I don't know. This one put a smile on my face. I haven't watched this in a very long time, and I will say the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, which I think they could have sold this separately and it would have done just fine. Lots of extras, and yeah, these box sets are a really good value. I know everything's expensive these days, but a lot of these box sets are some of the best values you can get because you're basically paying $20 for the movie, which now, boutique labels, you can't beat that. But yeah, I mean, skinny dipping, chainsaws, goofy kills, a guy that actually they fucking the hanging scene. They just hung the guy. It's like, I'm good. Just get your shot. They just hung him. How awesome is that? This is not shot on video. It's another one of those movies that it kind of gets lumped in, and we've talked about that on Analog Nightmares. But no, it was shot on 16 millimeter on a modest budget, and I think it should be better known than it is. I don't think
it comes off SOV when watching it either. Like some, even though they're shot on film, they will, still kind of have that feel. Like we've talked before, Analog Nightmares, we kind of like, if it's shot on 8 millimeter, it kind of fits. But this was shot on film, and it's a low budget film, but it doesn't have that SOV feel. And if you watch an SOV movie, you know what I mean.
Oh, absolutely. And there's some that really don't, you're right, don't have that feel, but still kind of get lumped in with that wave. But it's something about an obscure slasher at the time, some get lumped in. But this is an absolutely stacked Blu-ray. I highly recommend you get the set. I believe it's the best film on that set. And it's a good time. It's a good time. Todd, what do you rate it?
This is a fun film. I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5. I think that's fair.
Ooh, okay. Well, shit, we're pretty much the same rating. I'm also a 3.5. Want to go a little higher. I have to be realistic. I mean, there is a somewhat abrupt ending that I felt like they could have done a little more with. Certainly they were probably at least considering a sequel at one point that never happened. But I don't know, any weak points kind of work in the film's favor. I mean, the acting was just perfect for this type of movie. Everybody was really spirited, and I like this one. I think it's a gem. So let us know what you think in the comments of Hauntedween or One-Eyed Monster. Double it up now since we put that out in the universe. But you never would have expected a movie with Amber Benson and Ron Jeremy. That's just wild to me, but we got it nonetheless. All right. So another one, which pairs very well with this movie, even though they're quite different, but still both haunt-themed slashers and both from 1991. And in this one, we have from director Daniel Erickson, Scary Movie. So in Scary Movie, on Halloween night, big-time nerd Warren, channeling a mix of Buster Keaton and Crispin Glover, attends a spook house in a small Texas town. But is the haunted house as harmless as it seems, or has a psychotic mental patient found a new stomping ground? So this one, also a regional slasher flick from Austin, Texas, shot in the Austin, Texas area. And there's a lot of notable things about this one because it stars future Academy Award nominated actor John Hawkes as Warren. And I know we're both big Eastbound and Down fans.
Yep.
John Hawkes plays Kenny's brother on
He does.
Eastbound and Down. It's in Three Billboards, which I consider a
Yeah.
classic at this
That was
point.
the other. Those are the first two things that pop into my mind. Very different shows, or
Yeah, very, very much so. And he credits this movie. I mean, he wasn't exactly probably paid a ton, but this was the movie that gave him just enough money to move out to LA, and the rest is history. He's had one hell of a career. A lot of really good lesser known stuff from him as well. But much like Hauntedween had that unique Kentucky flair to the film, this has that Texas regional flair. Same thing with the haunt. The director still has props from this haunt, and up to a certain point was doing his own haunt in his backyard for neighbors to enjoy, which I just think is awesome. This does have some familiar faces in it. We have Butch Patrick, who appears as one of the haunt workers, of course, from the Munsters. And Todd, do you know the Texas Chainsaw Connection?
I don't.
The late Robert Jacks, who is
Return, the fourth one. Either way, whatever you want to call it.
Next Generation, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I always call him Pussy Leatherface. He was kind of the Pussy Leatherface.
That can get you canceled now, Dan, if you do not remember the end of the film. You better be careful with that.
I'm just saying he was weak.
I'm just telling you. You may get yourself canceled saying some shit like that now.
He was weak. He didn't do anything.
Okay. That's all you meant.
That's all I'm saying. God damn it, Dad. Trying to cancel.
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to keep you from getting canceled.
I know people like that movie. I've never gotten it.
I love that movie. So shut your mouth.
It was kind of like Franklin became Leatherface somehow.
I see. It's funny. Leatherface is my least favorite thing about that movie.
There's some side rant. There are some unique things about it.
Again, Dan, if you haven't figured it out yet, I like all the fucking weird ones of every franchise. Look at my history. From Halloween Ends to Friday the 13th Part 5 to Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Everything I like is the weirdo one from the franchises.
Would you consider Nightmare 2 the weirdo one?
I may get canceled for that, but yes. I mean, it has always long been considered that. I mean,
you love it.
I know I do. That's what I'm saying. The thing people need to see now. I'm side ranting. The thing people need to remember about Nightmare 2 is there were no rules established at that point. So everything in that film made 100% sense. Everything.
I always want to like it more than I do. I don't think it's a bad movie. I just can never quite get there. I'm just not a fan of Nightmare 2.
I always have. Always been my favorite. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, the first is my favorite. I should say my favorite sequel, which is funny because I don't have a lot in common with most of the people who Part 2 is their favorite film.
I figured you put 3 over 2, but
3's a better movie. But look at I don't like Friday the 13th Part 7. Or 4 annoys me at this point, but I don't dislike 4.
Ooh. Well, that's a much longer.
Yeah, I know it is. And we talked about this thing. It just got played out.
But this one, getting back to Scary Movie, this one plays it a little more serious. There are some laughs to be had, but this one essentially John Hawkes is playing this terminally terrified man who is just cannot take the impending dread of going into this local haunt. And I've always personally liked this one quite a bit. John Hawkes is kind of essentially playing Ichabod Crane here, which a lot of people have pointed out. And I really, really, really have a good time with this movie. I think it's another one, not a lot of money, but I think it's well made and they do a lot with what they've got. And there's just a lot of just fun little winks and nods that you can find in the movie itself. I don't know how it's going to play for the gore hounds, because to be perfectly honest, this film is maybe only barely R-rated. It's a little bit, light on that front. It's not, it's not a family movie exactly, but it does, maybe maybe you'd be cool watching it with your teens or something. There's nothing too
they'll be bored as shit, but
I don't know. Well, maybe. I don't
yeah.
necessarily disagree with that, but in terms of the mood, this one makes me feel like I'm going out to a haunted hayride and going through like I I always say like we've done some haunts together and the big budget type ones at the theme parks are great, but there's something about just going through those local ones where they're going a little bit harder for that scare. And I know when I was a kid, they did. I mean, they just grab you. It didn't matter back then. They just grab you to get that scare. And I really love this. There's something about it. You're probably right. I don't know about kids now if they want to watch it, but the gore is nothing too extreme. I think a hand gets cut off. That's about the gist of it. We get some snakes, which apparently he still has too and uses in his local haunt stuff. Um, and and yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this one, Todd? Because I don't know if I've ever talked about it with you, but I've always been a fan.
Yeah, this one's all right. I mean, I don't I did watch this one first, so I don't know if that helped to the other one, but no, I it was fine. It was I didn't have any kind of connection to it from my youth or anything, so um, it was I don't know. It's fine. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I didn't think I wasted my time. I'm not going out of my way to recommend. Other than the one thing you did say, I will say, I agree 100%. The feel of going to the haunt. It has that, and I did enjoy that portion of it, but the last half, it starts to kind of lose me and just drag a little too much. And I don't know if it is the lack of gore too. I wasn't really expecting a slasher, so I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah, no gore, no tits, but still a slasher.
Because I hadn't seen it before, so I was just kind of underwhelmed.
I kind of enjoyed the twists. I mean, you're watching this small slasher film starring what you could even tell was going to become like a big A-list actor. You could see it in John Hawkes at the time. And it does. It just has that feel like Butch Patrick was just living in Austin at the time, and apparently it's just like a hey, you want to be in a movie kind of deal. So I don't know. This one has always impressed me. I think maybe it is the cast, and maybe it is I've spent some time in Texas. I've even been to some haunts in Texas, so it really did feel like something I went to when I was a kid. And John Hawkes is absolutely stellar in this movie, so it's a personal favorite of mine. And Agfa also did a really good job on this Blu-ray. I'm very happy that it did finally come out. And we're reviewing these movies at Halloween season, so maybe we're being a little more kind, or I'm being a little more kind. But
well, you said this is one of your favorite movies, so I don't think it's you being kind.
This is one, it's one that I'm not saying I watch it every year because you never know with the reviews this time of year, but I do revisit it pretty often. So I am a fan.
I get it. I review Bates Haunting quite often, and that's just a dumb little haunting movie. I don't know, just something clicked with it for me.
Yeah, I remember you said you liked that. I don't know if we ever reviewed that.
I don't remember if we have or not officially, but I think we did in something.
I think I reviewed it back in the day on Creepshow Radio with Melissa, but I don't think I've ever talked that with you. But yeah, no, and also in the comments, let us know like what some of your favorite Halloween watches are, aside from the obvious. Maybe that little gem like this.
Specifically, haunt horror. What do you guys got? What are some of your favorites? I'd like to hear that since this is a haunt, themed episode. Let's hear some of those favorites, because why not?
Yeah, there's more than a few when you dig. In fact, there are haunts that just made their own movie. Like they just let's make our own movie out there. There's who knows.
Well, if you do it, you're dumb not to. You already got all the set going.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Like, I mean, let's just do this. Yeah. I mean, there's like Hayride. They made a couple of those. There's House of Horrors, I think, is one. And
What are those really
yeah.
horrible corn maze ones we watched? There was 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, there are
Okay.
some bad ones. But I'll tell you, it's hard to screw it up because if it's the time of year, just get
I'll
the
still watch
aesthetics
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the
You
aesthetics.
got a shot with it. I mean, so
And I would say at least both of the movies we picked tonight are very well made. I don't think they're shoddy or cheap.
and I know since Dan's the physical media snob, I'm going to make sure you guys know you guys can watch them on Tubi too. And actually,
you go.
both of them are on Tubi. And actually, Scary Movie's also on Plex, so you can check them both out. Make sure if you want to pick them up. If not, they both have great editions. One from Vinegar Syndrome, the other from
Agfa.
Agfa.
Yes.
American genre film, whatever.
Yeah, there you go. That works. So what do you rate Scary Movie 1991?
I'm a 3. It's above average, but I'm not in love with it.
Ooh.
It's above average, Dan. I gave it a 3.
Yeah, I am. Fuck it. I'm a 4. I just love this one.
Okay, well,
something about it. But yeah, let us know. I'm very curious, especially those lesser known.
So you did my 3. So what do you think I should have been? A 3.5?
No, actually, I think I was anticipating you going a little lower. So that wasn't a bad UG.
Okay.
It was just
checking.
Came late in the game.
Well,
So yeah, no, check these out. And also, once again, check out all our Halloween content because there's a lot right now. Watch Tournament of the Living Dead from the beginning because there's it's an explosive finale on that one. Check out Embrace the Darkness, which seems to be one of our more popular Halloween episodes, After Dark. It's pumpkins, Todd. It's pumpkins that did it. Pumpkins, very popular. And also patreon.com/fleshwoundfeatures. It all starts at just $1, and we have a lot of exclusive, uncensored, and early content, and we appreciate it because we don't do super chats, and we're very hardworking podcasters giving you content every day in October, sometimes more than one show. And on that note, guys, we hope you're having an awesome Halloween, and we will see you back here next time. Good night.
Watch out for Dan's premature ugulation. Good night. Buddy's on the dresser.